Hi, I'm Mary Logsdon at your library, and I can hardly believe it, but here we are entering the last season that we will be housed in the temporary location here at 620 Lincoln Way. Today at your library, I'm going to have a special guest who's going to give you some ideas of ways that you can continue to be engaged with your library this summer as we make our plans to move back to our 515 Douglas location this fall. Stick around. As I said, we're really pretty excited here that we're entering into the last season in the temporary library, and this last season happens to be summer. As always, summer brings to mind, for those of us at the library, summer reading programs, and today I have Emmeline with us. Hey, Emmeline.
Hello.
Who's going to hopefully get you interested in signing up for summer reading and continuing to visit the library through the summer months while we're still open before packing up and moving back to Douglas. Okay. Every year we have summer reading, and typically folks do think about summer reading programs for youth. That's a traditional library activity, but here at Ames Public Library for a number of years we've also had programming for adults as well.
Yep.
So what's the theme this year? There's always some kind of catchy theme.
This year we are doing literary elements.
Okay.
So science-y stuff.
Okay, great.
And we are moving to letting people keep track of their reading online, and so the sign up button will be, and where you can get to the summer reading page is going to be on the homepage for the library. It'll probably go up after the catalog switch has happened. And there'll just be a quick form, and from there you'll be able to add. You can keep track of what titles you've read, so you know what you've entered already. You can tell us a little bit about how you liked the book, that sort of thing.
And then when people do this kind of entry, you know, what's besides the pleasure of reading, what else is in it for them?
We will have some prize drawings at the end of the summer, so make sure you put in all of your reading, because for every title you read, or for however many hours that you read, you will get another entry into the drawing that we'll do. Okay, for some prizes at the end of the summer. Yep. Now that you've mentioned the duration of the program, there is something a little bit different this year, and that is the actual date of the summer reading program. It's going to be a little bit truncated. We're only doing a 2-month time period from June 1st to July 31st. Okay, so you can register and begin entering June 1st, but get all of your submissions entered by July 31st, and then we'll have the drawing for prizes. So it's great. And I think it's really fun that we're moving towards having an online component to the reading program. And many libraries have already done this, so we're not, it's not new to library world. It's just new to some of our customers. So we're excited to have folks start to register that way. I see you've brought some books, which is great, just in case folks are wondering, well, okay, I want to jump on this theme. Yeah. Of course, they don't have to only read books on the theme, but it's a nice way to kind of get people interested in the program. Yeah, and there are some great books with science themes out there. Terrific. So what I brought was The Disappearing Spoon by Sam Keen, and it is about the periodic table of elements. It's he does go into quite a bit of the science, but if that doesn't interest you, you can really skim that part. It's about the stories behind the elements. It takes each of the elements and makes them memorable, because he tells anecdotes and stories and jokes that scientists share with each other. He talks about stories of practical jokes that scientists play on each other, the politics of the periodic table,
inventions of different technologies, and just tons of fun facts about the different elements. It's easy to read for people interested in science and for everyone else.
That sounds great. I mean, it sounds like a book that was written to be compatible with this summer reading program.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
that's fun. That was a great discovery. What else did you bring?
I brought Flight Behavior by Barbara Kingsolver. The main character, Delarobia Turnbow, gave up college when she became pregnant at 17 and married her sweetheart. He's kind of dim, but he's sweet. And she's on her way to an extramarital tryst when she discovers a valley covered in butterflies. The townspeople immediately decide this is a miracle, and are excited for all the tourists it'll bring to town because it's a very depressed area in Appalachia. But there's a scientist and his team of graduate students who come to town to study the phenomenon, and it's actually caused by flooding in the overwintering spot for the butterflies in Mexico. So it could mean the death of all these butterflies, and because the winter in Appalachia is just too cold.
Okay. If you like this book, I know that Barbara Kingsolver has written so many books that do bring in elements of nature and science, and scientific-minded folks are frequently the protagonists in her books. And
yes.
so I'm thinking about Prodigal Summer would be a great book also along these themes. So this one I haven't yet read, but I would love to. Great. What else have you got to recommend?
Wicked Plants by Amy Stewart. Amy Stewart is kind of an amateur horticulturist, and she has written a number of books, Wicked Plants, The Drunken Botanist, and there's another, Wicked Bugs. And she loves the outdoors and gardening, and she's fascinated by poisons and the dangers of the natural world, and having a respect for the natural world. And this book is made up of short and witty, entertaining stories about plants that poison, strangle, paralyze, and intoxicate. And it's great for people who don't have a lot of time to devote to their reading, because you can read it in just 5-minute increments.
Great.
Yeah.
This is nice. I mean, it's catching my eye on the back cover. Beware the sordid lives of plants behaving badly. So this is great. So this is a nonfiction work in our sciences area. What else have you got?
Gulp by Mary Roach.
Yes.
She wrote Stiff and Packing for Mars, which people may be familiar with. In Gulp, she tackles the human digestive system. She goes into all the greedy, icky details, from consumption to elimination.
Okay.
She never lets a pun pass her by. She's got a great sense of humor, and she makes the most nauseating information about the human digestive process interesting.
Okay.
If you're a little squeamish, she provides a little bit of a warning before she goes into those greedy details, so you can just skim or skip the parts you're not interested in learning about.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
And I know that we've recently made a decision to add this title in our book club collection,
as well as Flight Behavior.
And Flight Behavior. Okay. So if you if our viewing public chooses to check these books out, they might find that they're so engaging that they want to recommend them for their book clubs, and then we'll have multiple copies. So always want to make a plug for that too. And I think you've got one more book.
Yeah, the last one is a mystery by Alan Bradley called The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie. It's the first in a series. The main character is like the best little main character that I have read in a long time. She's a precocious little 11-year-old girl and an aspiring chemist. Flavia DeLuce is the youngest daughter of widower Colonel DeLuce. She spends her days in her fully equipped chemistry lab at the family manor.
Wow.
The mystery begins with the discovery of a dead bird with a rare stamp pierced on its beak and a dead body in the cucumber patch. So Flavia must catch the murderer because her father is the prime suspect. And the series is up to 6 books now.
Great, great. Okay, and this one was the debut novel her debut
Yes.
novel. So this was the
Yes.
first. Wonderful, great. This is so you've taken this theme of literary elements, which is so much fun, and gone in so many different directions.
Yeah.
So we have genre fiction, we have nonfiction. This is just really terrific. So thanks for bringing those recommendations. We've already mentioned that the timeline is different. The way to register is different. But otherwise, it's just summer reading, and so we sure hope folks will continue to do it. If they are looking, if the public's interested in some more recommendations, of course they can always stop by the information desk or shoot us an email, and we're happy to give you some ideas by email as well.
Yep.
One other thing that I thought might be nice to remind folks, of course, our summer programming activities are going to be much reduced because of our preparations to move back to the library. But we are going to have a couple of book discussions still in June. So do you want to remind us of what those are?
The Mystery Lovers Book Club will be having one last meeting at the very beginning of June, the first Wednesday,
Okay.
on June 4th.
Right.
Do you remember which author they are
Yes,
doing
they
this
are
month?
going to be reading books by Lisa Scottoline.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Mixlit will be having one last meeting in this current theme. We'll be reading Michael Chabon's Wonder Boys.
Wonder Boys, okay.
And that's on June 10th, 7
Okay.
p.m. at Old Main.
Okay, and so Mixlit has been a series that we've just started this year, just mixing things up a little bit and
Yeah.
having a book discussion outside of the library.
Yes.
So if folks have been curious about that and want to find out more before we pack it up, this is the last opportunity. And then do you plan to resume
Yes,
series?
we'll be resuming, I believe, in October, and we'll have a 3-month theme, October, November, December.
Great, great. That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. One other thing that you had mentioned a bit earlier when you started was our new catalog. And that's a topic that I think in June folks are going to become more and more aware of. Actually, by June, hopefully they are fully familiar with our new catalog, because May 22nd is the date when that went live to the public.
Yes.
What does that mean for folks looking for great reads this summer?
Well, the catalog is going to look quite a bit different. We're going to have more accessible information about the most popular titles in the collection and
Right.
the new titles in the collection. We will continue creating the great lists that people have enjoyed for our foreign language collection and that sort of thing, and hopefully figure out a way to make those accessible through the catalog. And we will be doing more integration with a product called Novelist, so that you can find books that are like something you have enjoyed
Right.
very easily from within the catalog.
There really are going to be some very nice features. What this new catalog will also allow is folks to choose to keep their reading history, which is something that folks have often asked us about. You know, I know there's a great book I read 2 years ago, but I can't remember what it is. And up until this point, that was not possible.
Right.
And this will be something that you would opt in to if you wish to keep a history of your reading, which I think is a feature that a lot of folks may take advantage of
Yeah,
and
and
may
it's
enjoy.
from the moment you check that box
Right,
forward.
right.
So we
It's-
can't go back and find what you've had out before.
That's
but
a good point. Yep, yep. So basically, like, if you want to keep track of what you're reading this summer, after you return the items, that history can be in there, which
Yes.
might be a nice thing to do. So we hope folks, if they have any questions about how to find something great in the library, of course we ask them to stop at the library catalog, and we think that the new product is going to be even easier, more intuitive, and we'll give you ways of connecting with other like materials, as you said, because of the connection with the novelist. There is so much going on this summer. One last thing, we are doing less in terms of programming, but as always, we will have our bookends at the band shell. So grab one of these books and sit under a tree if you like, and join us at our bookends at the band shell series, which will begin the last full weekend in June, which I believe is Friday, June 27th. We will have musicians from Minnesota, Amy and Adams, a husband and wife acoustic folk duo who performed before at Ames. And so they will be there on June 27th, Friday, 11:30 till 1:30. And we will wrap up that first weekend with a concert from 6 until 8 p.m. on Sunday. So the first weekend is a Friday, Sunday, and King of the Tramps, a band from Central Iowa, will be performing, and they do rock and blues and a little bit more high energy kind of music on Sunday evening. So bookends at the Bandshell will be happening as usual from the last full weekend in June to the last full weekend in July. And so we will have Friday concerts every Friday between those bookend weekends. So we've got a lot going on. Of course, we're getting ready to close this temporary location. The last full day of business will be August 17th.
Yep.
So that means that beginning first thing in the morning on the 18th, what's happening?
Oh, a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We'll continue to prepare for providing service in a renewed building.
Yes. And that grand opening for the renewed building will be Sunday, September 14th.
Yes.
So mark your calendar and stay tuned because there's a lot of wonderful stuff happening at the library. Now, stay tuned to see some of the new additions that we've just brought into the library collection. Well, I'm so glad that I had a chance to sit down with Emmeline today to give you some ideas of how you can continue reading this summer and give you some ideas of library activities that you can be part of. As always, please do remember to check page 1, our monthly newsletter. Check our website for details about what's happening. Check out our Facebook page where we frequently post information about fun things that are happening at the library. Once again, this is Mary Logsdon at your library.